I tested 3, 6, 9 for 40 years, and what I am about to tell you is simple, but it will make you uncomfortable. Most people cannot stay focused on the same task for 6 minutes. This is why nothing finishes. 3, 6, 9 is not a formula. It is a diagnosis. I will show you exactly what it diagnoses. My name is Nikola Tesla, and I am speaking to you from my laboratory. You can hear the hum of alternating current behind my voice. I have spent my entire life studying invisible forces, electricity, magnetism, the frequency of things. But this pattern I call 3, 6, 9 taught me something about human beings that no mathematical equation ever could. Everyone wants to know what 3, 6, 9 means. They ask me this constantly, but that is the wrong question. The question you should be asking is this: why can most people not hold a single thought for 9 seconds without something else taking over? When I finally understood the answer to that question, I realized where decades of my energy had gone, and it was too late to get it back. Let me show you 5 things about this pattern, 5 observations. They are not mystical. They are not secrets. They are things I noticed first in electrical circuits, and then, much later, in my own mind. You already live with these 5 things every single day, but living with something and understanding it are not the same. The first thing is about cycles. In alternating current, the cycle completes itself and returns to 0. 3 cycles, 6 cycles, 9 cycles. The pattern keeps repeating. Your attention works exactly the same way. But here is the problem. Most people never even complete 3 cycles before they destroy the pattern. Count 3 breaths right now. That is all. Just 3. Count them slowly and pay attention to nothing else while you do it. Did you finish all 3? Or did another thought slip into your mind before you got to the end? Be honest with yourself about this. If another thought came in, you just failed what I call the 3-cycle test. This is not some moral failure. This is a mechanical failure. Your mind is like a circuit that cannot hold its ground. Every time you get interrupted, the cycle breaks. And every broken cycle costs you energy that you will never get back. Here is why this should concern you. A man worked for me in this laboratory. Good man, skilled with his hands. He told me one day that he was exhausted by noon every single day. He was not lifting heavy equipment. He was not operating dangerous machinery. So I asked him to simply observe himself for one morning. Just observe. He came back to me and said he had counted 23 times. 23 separate times that he stopped one task to start another task before finishing the first one. 23 broken cycles before lunch even arrived. The solution is small, almost too small. Before you begin any piece of work, decide how many cycles you will complete. 3 is enough to start with. Just 3 full cycles of focus with no interruptions. Not ambitious cycles, honest ones. You will feel a difference in your body within 3 days, maybe sooner. The second thing is about frequency. I discovered that electricity flows at different frequencies. 60 cycles per second, 50 cycles per second. Each frequency produces a different effect. Your mind also runs at a frequency. And I can tell you with absolute certainty that most people are running at completely the wrong one for what they are trying to do. Sit still for just a moment and pay attention to your breathing. Do not try to change it. Just observe it. Is it fast or is it slow? Is it shallow or is it deep? If your breathing is fast and shallow right now, then you are operating at a high frequency when your body desperately needs a low frequency. If your breathing is slow and deep, then you might be at a low frequency when the work in front of you requires high frequency. Most people never even check this. They just push all day long. They fight against their own system, and then they wonder why absolutely nothing seems to work. Let me tell you what this does to your ability to make decisions. When you operate at the wrong frequency, you lose the ability to tell signal from noise. Everything starts to feel urgent. Everything starts to feel important. You are not responding to real information anymore. You are just reacting to interference. I knew a woman who worked in my office, very intelligent, very capable. But she could not sleep at night. Her mind simply would not stop. I asked her what she did in the hour before she went to bed. She told me she read the evening papers. She wrote letters to people about things that were worrying her. She made detailed plans for the next day. All of that is high-frequency activity. Then she would lie down and expect her mind to immediately drop to a low frequency so she could sleep. It does not work that way. The system cannot make that shift instantly. She changed one thing. Just one. In the hour before bed, she deliberately lowered her frequency. Dim light, slow movements, no new information coming in. Her mind learned to recognize the signal. Within 1 week, she was sleeping through the entire night. Check your frequency 3 times today. Morning, afternoon, evening. Just notice whether what you are doing matches what your body actually needs or whether you are fighting against yourself. Most people fight themselves for their entire lives and never once stop to notice they are doing it. Here is what most people miss entirely. The third thing is about direction. In my laboratory, I learned a very simple law. Electricity always flows from high potential to low potential. Always. It has no choice in the matter. This is not negotiable. Your attention follows exactly the same law. It flows toward whatever has the strongest pull at any given moment. Think right now of one thing you actually want to accomplish today. Just one thing. Now think about everything else that is going to try to pull your attention away from that one thing. Other people making requests, noise, worries about things that have not even happened yet, boredom, restlessness, the urge to check something. Which pull is stronger? If those other pulls are stronger than your chosen direction, then you will not accomplish your one thing. This has nothing to do with discipline. This has nothing to do with willpower. This is about potential. You have to make your chosen direction the highest potential in your entire field, or your energy will flow somewhere else. It must. This is simple physics. Let me give you an example. I knew a man who retired from his position. He told me with great excitement that he finally had time to build the things he had always wanted to build. He had plans. He had ideas. 6 months later, I saw him again. He had built absolutely nothing. Not one single thing. He was furious with himself, deeply disappointed. I asked him what had happened. He said every day something else required his attention first. Small requests from other people, small distractions, small things that felt urgent but were not actually important. His attention kept flowing to the highest potential in his field, and it was never, not even once, his own chosen work. The solution is extremely simple, but it requires absolute honesty. Every single morning before you do anything else, before you check anything, before you respond to anyone, you decide your direction. You write it down. One sentence. This is my highest potential today. Then you protect that like your entire life depends on it. Because in terms of your energy, it does. This connects directly to 3, 6, 9, and you will see why in a moment. The fourth thing is about insulation. In every electrical system I build, I use insulation to keep the current from leaking into places where it should not go. Without proper insulation, the energy just spreads everywhere and powers absolutely nothing. Your mind needs exactly the same kind of insulation. It needs protection between you and all the constant noise coming from outside. Most people have zero insulation. None at all. Every opinion from every person reaches them. Every crisis happening anywhere reaches them. Every rumor, every bit of gossip, every piece of dramatic news reaches them directly. They believe this makes them informed. They believe this makes them aware. It does not. What it does is make them completely conductive to everything. You cannot think clearly when 1,000 different signals are passing through your mind every single hour. Ask yourself this question right now. How many voices are inside my head that are not actually my own voice? How many worries am I carrying around that do not actually belong to me? How many problems am I trying to solve that are not mine to solve? If you count more than 3 separate voices or concerns, then you have no insulation at all. You are like a bare wire lying in the open air. Anything and everything can interfere with you. This is exactly why people change their minds so easily about things. This is why they feel confused even about very simple questions. They have absolutely no protection from outside interference. Every signal reaches their core. Their own actual thoughts get completely drowned out by all the transmission noise. I knew a man, very well educated, who told me something that stayed with me. He said he used to know exactly what he believed about things, but now he said he was not certain about anything anymore. I asked him what had changed. He told me he had started reading everything he could find, listening to everyone, trying very hard to understand all possible perspectives on every issue. That sounds noble. That sounds admirable. But the result was disastrous. He had systematically removed all of his insulation. Every signal, no matter how weak or how contradictory, was reaching his mind directly. He could not tell anymore which thoughts were actually his own and which thoughts had just been transmitted into him from somewhere else. I gave him very direct advice. Insulate yourself. Choose 3 sources of information that you genuinely trust, not because they always agree with you, but because they think carefully and thoroughly before they speak. Everything else is just noise. Do not let it touch you. Do not conduct it. He did this. Within 2 weeks, he told me his mind felt clean again. Clear. He could hear his own thoughts. Identify one single source of noise in your life right now. One stream of information that makes you feel confused or agitated or anxious without actually giving you anything useful in return. Stop conducting it. Insulate yourself from it. You will know within just a few days whether it was genuine signal or whether it was just interference. The 5th thing ties everything together. Ground. Every electrical system absolutely must have a ground, a reference point. A place where excess voltage can safely discharge without causing damage. Without ground, the entire system becomes unstable, dangerous even. Voltage just builds up and builds up with nowhere to go. Your mind works in exactly the same way. Most people have no ground whatsoever. They have no reference point outside of all the chaos. They are just floating. Every new piece of information shakes them. Every criticism from anyone destabilizes them. They have nothing solid that they can return to. This is absolutely exhausting. This is why so many people feel completely lost, even when they are surrounded by other people and surrounded by information. Think about this very carefully. What is your ground? What is the one thing you return to when absolutely everything around you is moving and changing? If you cannot answer that question immediately, then you are floating. You are completely at the mercy of every current that passes anywhere near you. This is not some philosophical question. This is a stability question, a practical question. Ungrounded systems always fail. Always. It is only a matter of time. I knew a man who told me he felt like the entire world had changed so much that he did not even recognize it anymore. Everything felt different. Everything felt wrong. I asked him a simple question. What has not changed? What has remained constant? He stopped. He thought about it. He could not think of a single thing. Not one. No ground. Everything in his awareness was in motion. Everything was shifting. I told him he needed to find just one thing. One principle he believed in. One practice he maintained. One relationship that remained true. Something, anything, that stays constant regardless of what is happening all around it. He sat with that question for a long time. Eventually, he chose something very small. His morning walk every single day. Same path through the same streets, same time. No interruptions. No carrying anything with him. Just him and the movement. It sounds almost insignificant when you say it out loud like that, but it is not insignificant at all. It became his ground, his reference point, the one thing that did not change. He told me 1 month later that he felt stable again, solid. The world was still changing all around him, but he was not drifting helplessly through it anymore. Find your ground. It can be a simple practice. It can be a daily routine. It can be a question you ask yourself every morning. Just something that does not change when everything else is changing. Test it for 1 full week. You will feel a very real difference in your entire nervous system. Now let me show you how all 5 of these things connect directly back to 3, 6, 9. 3 is the minimum number of cycles you must complete before any pattern can actually form in your mind. 6 is the natural frequency at which your entire system operates most efficiently when it is in balance. 9 is the point where a full cycle completes and returns back to its origin point. This is not mysticism. This is not magic. This is direct observation from decades of work. When you cannot complete even 3 cycles, your attention scatters in every direction. When you ignore your natural frequency of 6, you are fighting against yourself constantly. When you never reach 9, you never actually close the loop. Your energy just bleeds away at every single stage. You are losing power at every point in the system. I tested all of these observations on myself for more than 4 decades. These are not theories. These are not speculations. These are direct reports from one human life. A life spent almost entirely in a laboratory watching invisible forces move through copper wire and slowly, very slowly, realizing that exactly the same forces move through the human mind in exactly the same ways. Which of these 5 things do you recognize most clearly in your own life right at this moment? The broken cycles, operating at the wrong frequency, scattered direction with no high potential, the complete lack of insulation, or the total absence of ground? Think about this carefully, because recognizing the pattern is the first step toward understanding it. Simply watch where your energy goes during your day. Just observe it. Do not judge it. Do not try to fix it yet. Just notice. You will be very surprised by what you see when you finally stop and observe yourself without any judgment. The pattern always reveals itself when you are willing to look directly at it.